section and they're using momentum. Like a lot of times, it's momentum. A lot of times, you find a trade, especially if crypto. Once crypto gets to moving, it's so easy to make money in trading. What's up, YouTube? FD White back with another episode of FD White Invest. Welcome to the channel, man. Welcome to the channel. So with the market ramping up, with everything starting to move, with October finally kicking off, I wanted to start my series of bringing on just a bunch of people who can bring a bunch of alpha to the channel. And one of the people that I wanted to talk to first and foremost was my good friend AlexO, good friend of the channel, good friend of the Piper Academy channel. And today we're going to break down trading in a bull trend or trading in a bull market, how to simplify it and how to make the most possible money you can. You know, right now is the opportune time to start to get into trading, start to, learn about what's going on and hopefully take advantage of some of these big moves that are most likely to come in the next few weeks or so. So without further ado, man, let's bring up AlexO Crypto, man. If you're not following him, I don't understand what you're doing. This is my guy. He's over right across the water, right across the bridge from me, man. So we're not too far apart. But
we're neighbors, man.
Yeah, we're neighbors, man. I'm gonna have to pull up on you one day, man. But man, AlexO, man, for the people who don't know, tell them who you are. Just a quick rundown.
Yeah, thanks so much, FD. I mean, it's always a privilege coming on another person's channel. For me, I'm a day trader, intraday every single day, streaming on YouTube. Obviously, a big fan of yours and Piper Academy and everybody out there working hard to kind of create a life of financial freedom for themselves. And I think you do a really good job of presenting that on a daily basis, right? Being in the charts constantly, having your kind of ear to the ground, right? So always paying attention. And right now is the time, right? We're looking to break out and continue upwards, but in consolidation for the last 7 months. So, I mean, we always want to be prepared as traders, but there's going to be an immense amount of opportunity, I do believe, in the next like 6 months or so. So,
yeah, true. So, what do you think the best way to trade crypto is? Because a lot of people think, hodling, a lot of people think swing, trading. A lot of people like yourself, day or scalp trading. You said you're a day trader, pretty much, day trade, scalp trades. What do you think is the best way to make the most amount of money? Because that's one of the biggest questions that I get in crypto. When somebody comes to crypto and they learn about trading, they learn about investing and everything, they say, well, I'm trying to make the most money as fast as possible. Because, everybody thinks crypto is a get rich overnight thing, which is not, but it could be. But what do you think from your perspective? What do you think is the fastest way to build that wealth, so to say, in crypto?
Absolutely. No, there's a plethora of ways to make money in the industry. For me as a trader, I really had to separate it kind of into a couple of bags to kind of protect my risk. It's always about what's your risk appetite, right? So it's like, am I going to be buying meme coins? Am I going to be trading like this coin or that coin? What am I planning to do? And then it's kind of like taking a look at, what am I looking to get out of this maybe Bitcoin cycle or this run up? Am I trying to 5x my portfolio? Am I trying to 100x and create life-changing wealth? Well, it's all going to change depending on your situation, the amount of funds you have, right? So it's always important to kind of do an honest self-appraisal about where you're at and really what you want to get out of the market, and then build from there, right? So for me personally, I'm looking to get a 5 to 10x out of this bull run, right? And I'm also trading it constantly, right? So I have a very big separation between my HODL portfolio, my leverage spot buys, and then my day trading, right? And by separating into those groups, I'm able to maximize my profits, but it may be different for a lot of people, right? So that's kind of how I look at it initially.
So true, yeah, true. So a lot of people, yeah, it definitely depends, and that's what I tell people. It definitely depends on it depends on you. It depends on your circumstance, on your situation. So let's jump right into the trading portion, man. So you are a day trader. So I can't call myself a day trader. I can call myself a trader. I know how to trade. I know how to read the charts. But when it comes to day trading, I really don't day trade like that. You every day you got your morning stream. I think 8 or 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. come on
Mhm.
faithfully. You're showing your trades, full transparency. You got the Discord, you got the the more advanced Discord. Make sure you check down in the link below. All his description, all his links will be in the description below. So make sure you go and check them out. But so how do you prepare for the day trades, and how do you go about executing these trades? Then we can jump into some charts, and then you can basically show us what you got going.
Absolutely, it'd be great. So if you want to jump over into the charts, we can take a look. First off, I got to shout you out because I know you were calling PopCat around 70 cents. So I got to shout that out to you, man. First and foremost, you had this massive call, and that was incredible. So that was incredible.
Thank you.
But jumping over to our favorite old Bitcoin. So for me, as a day trader, I trade Bitcoin because I find it respects levels the most. I also will swing trade if certain criteria is met. So like I've taken a swing on Sui, I've taken a swing on Ethereum, but for me, it's mostly trading Bitcoin. Now, I always suggest that if you're new to trading, the first thing you want to learn to do is one, you got to learn to do top-down analysis. And two, you got to know your exchange. Okay, so you want to go onto your exchange, you want to trade like pennies, and you want to realize how to enter limit orders, how to enter market orders, how to enter your leverage, whether it's cross margin or isolated margin. You have to know how to use your exchange. It's your tool. It's basically, how do I use these tools in order to make money, right? So if you don't know how to use a tool, if you're going to swing a hammer and hit your thumb every single time, it's not going to work, right? I'm a carpenter, so I also have taught myself how to trade, but I also know the importance of tools. So first and foremost, learn your exchange and learn how to do a top-down analysis. So every morning I get to the charts. I use an indicator called Market Cipher, which is a lot of people are familiar with, but also you can use an RSI. And this is basically understanding where I am in the market and what we're looking for. So first and foremost, you ask yourself every morning. I do this every single morning as I go, where am I right now? Right? I pretend like I'm lost, right? And the first thing you're going to do when you call someone when you're lost, they're going to ask, where are you? Right? So you got to kind of figure out where you are in the market. So if I was coming into the market this morning, the first thing I can see is that we're in an uptrend attacking new highs, right? So we are in an uptrend. So I should mostly be favoring long trades. I should be looking to buy, right? Rather than to sell. However, I'm also understanding that I am at the top of a very big resistance line that we have failed to break out of. So I could be possibly looking to short the market if it's presented to myself, if the setup is right. So that's the first thing I want to identify is what is going on kind of on the macro, and then zoom it in and get into the nitty gritty, which I'm trading on the 15-minute time frame, intraday scalping, right? So I will identify that, and then I'll work my way through my oscillator into favoring upside or downside. So I'll see that maybe we're getting a little bit overextended here on the daily. Then I work into my 12-hour, and I'll see, okay, yeah, we're starting to round out, looking like we're a little bit toppy. And this has stochastics RSI. You can use that as well, right? You don't need a ton of indicators. I always suggest learn one at a time, master that indicator, get an oscillator, maybe a moving average, right? And support and resistance. Like you don't need to get your chart looking like an absolute like gong show, like, oh my God, where are we going? Right. Like I
Yeah,
have all
true.
these things in reference because I teach. So if people are asking me questions, I can pull it up and I can teach, right? I don't need to be throwing these on all the time. I understand them. I use them occasionally. But for me, support and resistance, VWAP, and an oscillator is kind of where I reside. This is support and resistance, but we won't get into that just yet. So don't overcomplicate it, please. And if you're going to learn an indicator, pick one and learn it well. I think that's always sound advice, because for me, I always think about when I started and how important it was to not, try to learn market cipher or try to learn RSI, and then I'm throwing ribbons and all these things on, and I get lost in the charts. And I think FD, you do a really good job of keeping the charts simplified, yet you're an effective trader, right? And I think that's kudos to you. You said, I even remember you trading PopCat. You're like, the levels are respected, right? If I just go through here and I look and I back test something like PopCat, and yes, it has moved onwards and upwards, But you can see if you just drew horizontals wherever there's support and resistance, look at how well this is respected. He's absolutely right. If I'm getting long on this retest here, boom, we're gone, right? If I'm looking to short up at the tops here as resistance, boom, we're good there. Look, bounce from here, right? Very simple, right? But you got to remember another key thing with trading, and I'm sure FD knows a lot about this, is was your risk management, right? So don't over leverage. You don't need a lot of leverage to make money in this market, right? You can go 2, 3, 4x on something like this, right? And you're going to get, I mean, 65%, right? With 5x. It's crazy. It's crazy
Yeah.
money, man. It's
Yeah, these
crazy money.
altcoins,
So,
once these altcoins get to moving, man, you don't need that much leverage. And like you said, with
mhm.
me, when it comes with me, like I don't want to trade. You have to know your instrument as well. So I don't want to trade anything that has all those crazy wicks, all those things like that. I'm looking for things
Yes.
that respects levels. So once I identify an instrument that respects levels, then
Mhm.
my strategy will work for that specific instrument. If I don't see any, if I can't just trade anything. I have to trade my levels and I have to stick to my strategy, and my strategy and and the instrument have to collide and coincide together, and then that will cause me to trade it.
Absolutely. No, that's so true. Like if it's not respecting levels and there's lots of scam wicks, it's choppy, it's not going to be a fun time for you. I promise you that. One beginner friendly coin that I like is Solana for levels. Because we've been consolidating here, Solana, uh, it's a behavioral coin where the sense that like there's a lot of adoption right now. But like if you're just looking at basic levels with Solana, it's very beginner friendly. That's one thing I can suggest, and I do suggest to a lot of people. But if you got basic support and resistance, Solana is one of those ones that does respect levels, right? It does respect levels, and it tends to trade within them. Okay, so you could do Solana, but for me right now, my main focus is Bitcoin, because I do believe the amount of volume that's traded on Bitcoin, it has a sense of respect for certain tools that I tend to use on a daily basis.
Yeah,
So
true,
going
true.
back, yeah. So going back into this, right? So I'm going from top down analysis. I'm identifying, okay, we're in a very aggressive uptrend here. I can see on my 12-hour, maybe a little bit overextended going into this morning. And guess what? I long this morning. So that's okay, right? It's dependent on your time frame. Maybe you don't want to get into a swing long up in here trying to get to all-time highs. Maybe this is maybe a little bit of a dream, right? Maybe we're not going to go there yet, but you got to be realistic. That's why early on we identified that, hey, we're at the top of this trend line. We might want to be probably favoring a good short setup, or a little bit of a breakout retest continuation, right? So you kind of get that narrative as you work your way down. Then for me, I'll get into my 4, my 3, my 2, and the 1, and that will really dictate my day, right? So I know that I'm going to get about 3 4-hour candles, 4 3-hour candles, 6 2-hour candles, and 12 1-hour candles, and a 12-hour trading day. So that's what I'm looking to take advantage of in my trading day. And for me, I will scalp it up, down, all around, right? I took the long from down here. I've shorted this thing a couple times. I shorted it yesterday. And I am looking for that short right now. So when I do my analysis on the 4, the 3, the 2, I'm really trying to predict where am I going. So we're overextended here, looking for this to continue up. However, I can see a lot of exhaustion in the charts, and you will learn to see this just with volume, with candle patterns, with um, with the wicks. You can see that volume has now been decreasing. So I just pull up volume. I can see that even though we're going higher, the volume is coming out of the market, which means we might be due a correction. And these are things that you come to evaluate over time, but that's really going to help you make better decisions. So knowing that we're exhausted here, maybe we're more favorable for a short. So these are things that I'll consistently add to my trading idea, and then go from there. And then when we're going into the nitty gritty, as I call it, it's very very quick um, decision making skills, understanding which way we think price is going to go due to the oscillation. Would you like me to go into the short term stuff that I typically get into?
Yeah, yeah. Be my guest.
Okay, awesome. So for me, I will pull support and resistance levels throughout. So this will get a little bit crowded. So you can see this. Now this is pulled from volume. So I will do a big analysis on volume within the range. So because this is a massive range, it's been a bit crowded, but I will pull the volume with a fixed range volume profile tool, which is a free tool over here. It's one of the best free tools, I think, in all of TradingView. Fixed range volume profile tool, and you can pull this across, and all you have to do is change this to 200. Your inputs, change this to 200, and it'll be a little bit more accurate. Okay, it won't be as blocky. Now with this, I will go through and I will mark out all my key areas of support and resistance aligned with volume. Okay, and it will get crowded, but when you're in my 50-minute time frame, it doesn't get so crowded. Okay, it looks crowded, right? But this is all matched up. If I expand this out, it's all matched up with support and resistance, volume levels, and things like that. I do have a video on that on my channel if you want to learn how to do that more in depth. But those are my support and resistance, and it's basic support and resistance, right? It's like, okay, we have a lot of candle closes here, we have a lot of candle closes here. It's this. It's pretty much this basic with a little bit of volume involved with putting the horizontals on my chart. So when I'm in my 15-minute time frame, okay, I can use these levels, which I have here, as key levels. And you can see throughout that they're added confluence. So if I'm getting long or short in any of these positions, right, and they're typically about 1% apart, which allow me to get a 1% move, which is I'm typically looking to take advantage of, right? But you can see throughout here that they act either as take profits, right, as where I should put my stop loss. Maybe I get long over here, right? I can put my stop loss just below there because I know price is going to be relatively safe in those general directions, right? We want to be as cheap as possible. I talk about that quite frequently, right? I don't want to give a lot back. If anything, I want to be taking more trades, being cheaper, and then letting my winners run. Okay, so I'll take my trade, but like maybe I'll take a risk to reward of 50 to maybe 150, right? So if that's my strategy, right? And eventually, as you get better, you definitely want to increase size, and that comes with a little bit of emotional control, right? When you see it go against you, it does take a little bit of control to understand that you're trading a plan and not trading your emotions. Okay, so that's a whole nother ballpark. But with these levels, you can see key resistance, key support. And these were on here before I did this chart, right? Before I did this live stream with FD. I've been using these all week long, and look at the absolute bangers of trades that I've been able to get into, calling the top even the other day, right? Look at how well this is holding support, right? So I am actually looking for a continuation off of this right now to come up to our favorite Bitcoin number, which is actually a key level of resistance at 69,420, but we won't get into that, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's actually like a valid key level of resistance. You're gonna remember when we hit that one tomorrow if we keep pumping.
Yeah, that's definitely one to remember, man. You,
Um,
you know what though? You mentioned the emotional part, man. Like how much of the emotional part, how much of the psychology goes into trading? Because a lot of people just think it's all reading charts. A lot of people think it's all just the numbers on the screen and the prices on the screen. I tell you, like, no. Especially once you start scaling up those price swings, man. If you don't have it under control, you might miss a good move, or you might get out too early, you might get out too late. Like, so how do you manage that? Being a day trader, which is hard. People don't understand the stress that comes along with being a day trader. How do you manage these emotions, or how do you manage your trading psychology?
Awesome. So I have rules, right? So rules is going to, and I can share my rules with FD after this, and maybe he wants to put them in the description after. But I have my rules printed out for my Discord, and everybody gets access to them. But my number one rule is am I all right? Right? Did I have no sleep? Did I stay up late watching the hockey game, which I plan on doing tonight, right? Right. I know you're a Red Wings fan, so
yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, so I'll be up too.
But yeah, am I okay, right? Am I coming tired? Am I coming hungry? Am I coming any of that stuff, right? And did I get into like an argument or something like that?
It all matters. It all matters, man.
It does, because I have to be okay. This is a one-on-one game. This is a me versus me kind of deal, right? So I'm constantly check up from the neck up. Am I okay coming into the charts? Sometimes I don't trade, right? Sometimes I'm here for the community, but sometimes I don't trade. So taking a break is also a very important thing. And then having set rules and set strategies. So I have a playbook. I have gone through and I have back tested immensely my strategy over 500 times. Okay. And I have a somewhat 75 to 85% win rate, depending on how I manage my risk. Okay. And it's all about risk management after that. So let's say one of the tricks is a lot of people struggle with holding trades long, right? And one of my good friends, Kyle from InvestorShare, he taught me how to hold trades a little bit longer. So like, let's say I get long here, right? And maybe my target is to come back up to these highs here. I'm trying to be super cheap, trying to get back up into this area in here, right? Well, what allows me is a simple trend line. So if I get long here, right, my first job is to find out where my next higher low is, because price always moves like this, right? Um, so we have to identify where significant highs and significant lows are. So maybe this is my first target, but I would have loved to hold this all the way up to here. Okay, so one thing that I will do is I'll just put a simple trend line on the bottom of my first higher low all the way up. Okay, and this will shoot all the way up here. And I know to myself that I don't have to exit this trade until this trend line gets hit. Okay, because I have clear trend and momentum to the upside that I'm able to hold this thing. And maybe I don't want to be too greedy and I'll take it off here. But at the end of the day, that means I get out here rather than getting out here, rather than getting out here. I can hold it just a little bit longer to maximize my gains. And you can use this throughout all of your trading. Try and do it on like a 1 hour, right? So if you got long all the way down here, right? Let's say you're an amazing trader. You saw the breaker structure. You got long on here, right? You can take this high, right? This low to this higher low up here, and look, you don't even have to be out of this trade yet, right? You don't even, but a lot of people are like, oh man, we're pumping up here. I should close. Oh man, I should close. Take yourself out of it, right? Use a tool to take yourself out. Another good tool for trends is an EMA. Put like a 21 on there. That'll tell you when to get out, right? Or a 55. That'll tell you when to get out. Those are very good for trends. And then also when trying to take profits too, have specific targets. That's why I love these trend lines, because I'm like, okay, I'm looking to take this for a 2% gain up to here. These are typically 1% apart, right? So if I'm measuring from here to here, I know that, okay, this would be my key area of resistance, and I get a 2% move out of that trade, right? And this is all going to help you. But with the psychology part, start small, but start with enough size, like enough position size when trading, that you care enough, right? You don't want to lose your $20 lunch money. You don't want to lose your $50 lunch money. And that's another way for me for managing risk is you're going to school every day. You got a tuition to pay, and a lot of traders, it took me, I was quick, 8 months till profitability. Okay, but I was in the charts on this thing like crazy, right? So there's a difference. You got to invest time into this, right? But go to school with your $20 lunch money every day, right? And whatever this turns out to be, great. Okay, but always, always, always stick to your $20. You do not have more lunch money. You're not allowed to go and ask your moms to borrow some lunch money. Okay, like I think that's the most important thing, is have this set concrete. Okay, right? And therefore that will allow you to have longevity in trading, which is something nobody gives themselves enough time to do. They say trading is BS. This is not real. It's not going to work. Well, how are you managing your risk? Because after you have a strategy and you have back tested it 100 times or whatever, and you find that you have a win rate, well, guess what's part of that win rate is a loss rate. So understanding that losing is okay, as long as you manage your risk, right? That's why we want to have at least a 2-to-1 ratio in order to capitalize on wins. So let's say even if we have a 55% strategy, right? If we execute that over and over and over again and we manage risk, we will make money, right? So it's very important to do that for your psychology, is go to work with your lunch money and don't give up the rest of it, right? And have longevity and have patience in the game. I think a lot of traders too, they suffer with over trading. I think they have to be in a trade, And I gave this setup today off of VWAP for my group. Okay, the VWAP bounce here. And for me, we came up and I am out of this trade now. I guarantee you there's someone in my Discord. I know who you are. You're gonna say this after watching this video because I'm gonna share this video. Right. I guarantee you there's people still in here. Right. My target is 69,420. Right. But we have resistance coming in. We could have taken a breakout retest continuation, but we gave this trade here. I got out here and I've announced that I'm out there, right? However, right, if you're trying to last longer and you're really trying to maximize your profits, you know, the best time to trade is probably morning open, right, where you get that volatility, but also giving yourself an opportunity to trade again is also your best time to trade, because I think not a lot of people do that for themselves.
Exactly, man. So, like you said, man, like, you know, he has a Discord. He has every morning he's doing a live stream. So this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. If you're not following AlexO, make sure you go over and follow him. Like I said, the link will be in the description. He gives education every day, all day. So this is one of the things that, or one of the reasons why I wanted to bring him on, because you know, you kind of beat the curve quick. 8 months to profitability. You know, a lot of people are usually like, you know, 2, 3, 4 years. I've seen some people like saying it was took, you know, 4, 5, 6 years, you know. So 8 months, but you said you were on the charts, you were, you know, doing your due diligence, doing your research all day, every day. So it can be done. That's why I wanted to bring you on and, you know, let people know it can be done if the work is being put in. And he's not one of those people coming on here, you know, just saying what he's doing. He's showing you what he's doing, and the proof is in the pudding. You see his trades live and you see his trades in the Discord. So make sure, like I said, you go over and follow him. So lastly, I do want to, you know, talk about news, because we were just talking to CVO yesterday, and CVO, he's a great trader. He, you know, he does great technical analysis, but
He had the
he
bat
does,
pattern, right?
yeah, the
This,
the
yeah.
harmonic pattern. Yeah. So he says fundamentals are just nothing. They're out the window. And I know a lot of traders like that. A lot of traders who only look at the charts. But I know you also pay attention to the fundamentals. You also pay attention to the data. So how do you incorporate that into your analysis? Even if you do see something that's telling you something, one thing in the chart, how do you you know, combat that with, you know, the fundamentals or some type of data that's coming out, and how the market digests it?
Absolutely. So I think the most important thing is being aware, right? Where are we at in the market, right? So if you see my chart here, this is my regular setup. Normally I'll have another Bitcoin chart here. So I'll have like a 20 minute and the 5 minute, but I have the dollar, I have the S&P, I have the NASDAQ, I have the Russell 2000 ready to go, right? And this is understanding where we're at. So like, where are we at in the market? Well, the Russell is expanding, risk on is being taken, right? So I need to understand this. Interest rates are being cut, right? M2 money supply is coming in. China is stimulating, right? These are all things that I need to be aware of in order to position myself. Now, when news comes out, you can pick it out on the charts. When news comes out, right, you'll see the volatility do one of these things, right? And it's just like, I don't want to be involved in that. I used to love trading these, man. Like when I was new
Yeah,
and I
me
was
too.
not profitable, bro. 100x
Oh, I couldn't wait
long
till some news came out.
inflation data, baby. Let's go, right? Elon Musk, Doge, let's go, right? Like, I mean, and that to me that's gambling, right? That's gambling. Like, we got to separate the two, right? But being aware of when the news is coming out, I recommend Forex Factory, Economic Calendar. They're all free services. You can see typically comes out 8:30 in the morning. You get jobs data. I'm very aware that the beginning of the month is typically jobs money. Let's look at this chart. When is the beginning of the month? Okay, we look at the beginning of the month. Okay, look, April, May. So we go here. Oh, April, July. Yeah, right here. So this is July 1st. Oh, do you see a coincidence between this? Why is it when the beginning of the month and there's jobs data that we are at the lows? We need to be aware of this as traders if we're looking at this, so we could take advantage. Hey, guess what? They've told us there's 300,000 Fugazi jobs. We don't care about the number. We care about making money, right? So we're well aware of it, right? Because when we can isolate and understand what's going on with the markets, right? When we get our CPIs and all of those datas, one, we can protect ourselves. So for me as a short-term trader, I don't want to be, let's say I got a beautiful setup, but it's 8:30 in the morning and jobs data comes out and it goes boom and it just knocks me out. I don't want to be a victim to that. So a lot of the time, all it is letting it happen, the volatility, and then trading aftermath, right? So after, there's typically, whenever there's data, there's always, this is a little trick. Go and watch the Dixie. The Dixie will tell you the move. Okay, the Dixie will have the actual move, the fake move, which liquidates retail, and then the continuation of the real move. Okay, this will always happen, right? It'll tell you which way it's going, then it'll come back because everybody's FOMO short, right? Everybody's FOMO short. Then it'll liquidate them, and then it'll actually move. And this happens time in and time again. So what do? We wait. We let them get liquidated. We see the trade setup, and then we take the trade alongside with news, right? We don't trade the news. We just use it as confluence in our thesis of the day of how we want to take advantage of news. But it's very real, and it's, even if it's fake numbers, people care, and that's what matters. Is that this is a reflection of human emotions in candle form, right? So how are we going to take advantage of it? We know how everybody's feeling right now. They're feeling the FOMO and they're feeling greedy. Very clear, right? Fear and greed was at 30 down here, right? We're at 70 today, right? It's human emotions, right? So everybody's buying the top right now. Army Piper said, even your mom's buying the top right now on the live stream this morning. So
Yeah.
it's FOMO time. What are we waiting for? We're waiting for a smart. I'm going to put that in quotations because I am a carpenter by trade. All I did was swing a hammer and build houses, right? But as a smart trader, we're looking for pullbacks, right? And we can go like here. Oh, there's a key level. Maybe I look at 64,000. Oh, look, 60,000 has held all the way through this range. If we get down there, I should be looking to buy maybe my favorite altcoins that I've done research on, maybe yada yada yada. And a good way to get into trading is buying spot because you're not at risk, right? Especially now, you're not at risk, right? And if the bull run's going to happen into 2025 and the end of the year, then buying spot now, at least if you do get drawdown, you can make your money at break even or whatever, right? So I think positioning yourself, understanding your risk tolerance, and all those things are going to come into factor. But news is very much a big part of it. Watch if Elon announces Bitcoin payments in Tesla, it's going to happen all over again, right? So these things are real. We just need to be aware of how to trade them and protect ourselves, really, at the end of the day. I think that's the most important.
True, true, true. So I'm gonna hit you with a little personal question, man. I know that everybody knows, if they know AlexO, they know you just had a new addition to the family, man. And what congratulations to you, congratulations to your wife. You're also newly
Thank
married.
you.
So with you, already, if people know your story, they see you're basically an autodidact. You learn this how to do this on your own. You learn trading, took up these things and learned it on your own. So how does these new additions and everything in your life impact how you're focusing now and focusing on the market, focusing on your business, because you are a businessman as well. You do run a business,
Yes.
with the crypto and with investing. So how has that impacted your life? I know we can talk about this all day, because I got
All
three
day.
sons, I'm married too. So if you could just sum it up, how does this, how did those events shape you and change you?
It's incredible, man. Like it's, first of all, it's a privilege to be a dad, right? It's a duty to be a dad, right? And I think the biggest fear I've had as a new father is to be a provider, right? I want to be a provider, so therefore maybe I won't degen into that long, which has helped me with risk management, right? But at the end of the day, right, it's part of the plan, right, to get married, to start a family. So these things we've planned for. I have an incredible wife, who stood by me through thick and thin, and we have a great relationship where we can lean on one another, right? So I think having that family strategy too, right? Because I've just started the Discord and all these things have kind of started to pop off for me. But at the end of the day, my community was really built on kindness. I gave it away for free for the first 2 years and all that stuff. So it was really about creating a culture within my community. And I think that that culture understands and respects the fact that I've become a dad, I'm newly married, I have a family life as well. Like tomorrow I'm not live streaming, right? Because I'm scared because my son has his first shots, right? So I'm like, man, I'm a punch to die. Like it's like
Oh yeah,
I'm
I still
scared,
do that.
man. Like
You know what? I still do that, man. So
right?
I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah, so it's like it's a whole new experience, but life's about experience. It's about, collabing with other people, like-minded people like yourself, which, it's good people. It's being surrounded by good people. I think the biggest blessing about being a father is having that extra gear, man. When you're tired and it's been crying all night and you get up and you're like, man, I'm gonna go grind and get that money from my son. He's a whole coiner, baby. Let's go, right? Like, so
Yeah,
it's like it's staying motivated, but it's
yeah,
also the way you stay motivated. Understand that you're going to serve people every day. I think that's out of self medication is the best thing. Is that like I love this, so I want someone to be able to create that for themselves so that they can free up time because trading, I mean, dude, I was up at 5 a.m. till 5 p.m. swinging the hammer, carrying plywood for the last 13 years of my life before I turned full time. Okay, so what time would I have with my family if I didn't do that? If I didn't invest in trading, I didn't invest in crypto, and I didn't spend the time to learn a craft, that has freed up time, really. So at the end of the day, I'm blessed, right? So I continue to work on my craft, help others, and through doing that, I feel great. I feel great, and I think that's key, right? All these things can get added on through life of experiences and things you do, but at the end of the day, I've created the life that I've wanted by just really working hard.
yeah. True, man. True. So I think we can end it on that, man. That's a perfect way to end it, man. Like I said, man, we always talk. We talking every day, on somebody's
Of
chat,
course.
somebody's Discord, somebody's live stream, man. So I definitely appreciate you coming on. Definitely get you back on again. And I just appreciate what you're doing. I know the community appreciates you. Everybody in the space that knows you loves you. So that's a testament to your character, man. And like I said, I appreciate you. And the Discord is fire. Make sure you go down in the link with the description in the description below. Link will be down there to join the free one. And he also has a more advanced one where you get more advanced, TA, more setups, and a little bit more alpha. But like you said, you join the free one, see if that's something, and I'm guaranteed you'll love it. So that's just something that you have to go and figure it out for yourself. So AlexO, man, I appreciate you for coming on. Like I said, we'll probably talk later on a nightcap. And anything you need to say to the people before you get out of here?
I mean, we're gonna send the Otter Gang through for you, man. Thank you for being part of our community and a good man. I appreciate you, man, for having me on and reaching out and saying, hey, man, let's figure something out. Let's do this. So I'll always make time for you. Thank you so much for your kindness, and looking forward to doing it again, man.
All right, AlexO, man, peace. Talk to you
Take
soon.
care.